Morena, morena. It is quite early in the forest this morning and it's cold. It's cold. We're moving into spring here in Aotearoa. We are coming out of winter and moving into spring, but we are in that gap in between seasons. So we are in transition. And I like to think about it as when you take a deep breath in and you breathe out, and in the breathing out or in the exhale there is a gap. There's no need to hold, but you can just be in stillness or be in the still point on the exhale. And in that exhale, there is a transition between the inhale and the exhale. And that is like a still point where everything is still. And in that moment, you can feel everything. And it's like you're in between worlds. And you really are. You're in between veils, you're in between worlds. You're in transition between the inhale and the exhale. And that is like the still point. And it's in that still point where you can feel everything in your environment, everything around you. You can sense and feel everything in your body. Because in that still point there is silence, a very deep silence where you can hear everything. The awareness, your awareness is heightened. Your senses are heightened. It's a very pivotal space. And so on that out-breath, it's really important to just be still in that moment, not to be too eager to take an inhale breath, to really savor that stillness. And even during meditation, if you meditate and you slow your breathing right down to almost that there is no movement in your breath, you're slowing the breath down. Because it feels like you are continuously in that stillness, which is the space that we aspire to be in. And the slower the breath, the more stillness and space that you can be in. In that still point, that stillness, is where we recharge, where we rebirth, where everything is recharging, everything is taking a rest. It is rest and repair, so that you can move into the inhale with more vigor, with more vital energy, with more mauri. And so that's the transition between breaths. And it's the same when we transition between seasons. So in Aotearoa, we're moving out of winter and into spring. So we're in the transition between seasons. And right now it can feel like nothing is happening. It can almost feel like, we're anticipating the birth of spring, or the budding, the buds and the birth of new plant life. Lambs are being birthed. Everything is being birthed, and also everything can be seeded and sowed. Your ideas, plants. It's just such a busy time, spring. And we're all in anticipation for that season of new birth, of newness, of rebirth, of the flowering, of the buds, to bring us joy and vital life and beauty, because we've come out of a period of stagnation, of dormancy, which is winter. And winter can feel quite depressing for many people because there's no light. There's not as much light or as much sunshine as we would like. We can't be outdoors as much as we'd like to, so we hibernate and go indoors, be indoors, and it's the same as our bodies. We go within our bodies. And if you're not used to this way of being, it can feel quite stagnant and depressing. And so in Aotearoa in New Zealand, in my culture, we have wānanga, which are learning periods, learning spaces where higher knowledge is discussed, is we're in learning in those spaces. They're called wānanga. And the winter time is the best time for wānanga, because we are forced to go within. We're forced to go within to be in that dormant state, to be in that timeless and timeless space of dormancy. But in that dormancy there is vital potential, because we are learning and creating within in that space of darkness. Darkness is our friend. Darkness is our friend when we let it, because it can help to shed light in the dark spaces. When we feel into the dark spaces within our being, within our mind, our hinengaro, we go into wānanga within ourselves to understand, or to help to shed light on what needs to be brought to life, brought to light. Ka pai? So it is a wonderful time during the winter period if you look at it as a learning experience for yourself, for self-inquiry, for going deeper within the ngahere, or deeper within your own ngahere. Don't be afraid to go deep, and don't be afraid to ask for support or find support with like-minded people to be able to do that with each other, because we all spark off each other. All of us have light within us, electrical currents, and when we are in the same waka, when we are in the same space, moving along in the same space, we ignite each other with ideas, and through kōrero, through speaking, we ignite the flame. We ignite each other. That's why when you find your tribe or your spiritual community or your rōpū, your waka, it can be a powerful thing, especially if you're on the same waka. Because all of your ideas merge together to become one very potent and powerful idea sent out into the universe, into the world, planted in this world. So very, very powerful, your community that you engage with. So moving back into the transition of seasons, we're anticipating the rebirth of spring, but we need to acknowledge the learnings and understandings and the inquiry that you've done during that winter period. Acknowledge the mahi, the internal work that you've done. Acknowledge that space before you move into the new space, and just see how far you've come. There's so many things you'll see that has happened in that winter period, not just for yourself, but for those around you and in your environment. What has changed? What newness is going to be birthed in this new season? So these are things to look at. In that transitional period between seasons is the still point. So this is the time to acknowledge the past, the winter, in anticipation for the new. Prepare in that space. Bring the light in that transitional period. Look after your tinana, your body. Maybe look at drinking wairako or teas, herbal teas that help you to shift energy. Because in the winter period we've become, dormant. We're not as agile as we are moving into, in the spring and the summer. Our movement is not as vigorous in the winter. So we need to bring some movement on and shift some energy in our body, and perhaps even in your whare at your home. That's why spring cleaning is really good right now, to start to declutter the whare, declutter the home, prepare it for spring, and declutter the tinana, declutter the body. What are some things that you can look at that you need to let go of? Don't move into this new season unconsciously. Move into it with intent, which is the period to do that right now. What are your intentions of what you need to let go of? What is stagnant in your life right now that you can bring to life or shift away or bring movement or mauri into those areas? I am going to bring wairako into my life. I'm going to change the herbal tea that I drink, specifically to detox the body and to also bring movement. So one of the rongoa, one of the plants that grow right now is mauri, what we call mauri, or you might know it as cleavers or biribid. So this is a rako that grows abundantly now. So that's a really good wairako. That's a really good plant to make into a tea to help to shift stagnant waters in the body. It helps to shift lymph in the body. So because you've come from winter and it's a stagnated period, the body will need to have some movement in it. So mauri or cleavers is a really good rongoa to make at this time of the year to help those waters, to help the lymph and the waters to move again. Movement is also another great thing to do right now. So getting back out in nature and walking, there's more light now, and just starting to think about what kind of movement you want to do. Bring everything back to yourself and what is it that you require right now in that still point, moving forward into the new season of spring. But also acknowledging everything that has happened in the winter. And then in that still point, being able to enjoy that these reflective times. This is perfect to reflect and contemplate on who you are, who you are. And just bring you into the ngahere with me. I think we'll walk slowly. So I think that I've mentioned on other videos about the Kodi the light of Kodi and how it has the mana to open the heart, to work with the heart in a really big way. But the Kodi has the mana to open the heart in a big way without any, it's not gentle because of its capacity in when you come in connection with a Kodi, you can feel the immense power of them. Their light is powerful and strong, but I was working with a client about 6 months ago, and we connected her to her heart through breath work. She mentioned that she loved Kodi, and I encouraged her to, while her heart was open and with the work that we had just done with her heart, I encouraged her to go to a Kodi and connect while her heart was open, and to be open to receive whatever the Kodi would offer her. And she did this. She went to a Kodi and she placed her hands on the Kodi. Her heart was open and she heard the words, "Welcome home. welcome home. They're such powerful words, and of course, you know, she wept. Not from sadness or grief, but from really hearing and feeling her heart. That door opened into that sacred space, and she heard the words welcome home. She felt the reverence of that space. She was in awe, and that can bring you to tears. It can open you so that you feel vulnerable enough to purge what is covering that space. Okay. I'm just gonna maybe place the camera there for a moment. Just so quiet, so quiet. She heard the words, welcome home. Which unlocked her heart, and she was able to go deeper and experience sacredness, that those sacred spaces. And when you experience something like that, you never forget it. You never forget it. But it's important to keep experiencing those spaces, so that you can strengthen that muscle, so that it becomes easier to be in that space always. So in that moment, the light of Cody came into her heart, purged, opened the doorway. The key is in being able to access those spaces at any moment, because when you go back into the physical world, the illusory world, it's very easy to question that space and say, did that really happen? Was that true? And that's the gap, the distance between the physical world and the spiritual world, is that it can seem unreal, surreal. Which is why experiencing that sacred space is important. To keep doing that. Keep doing that daily if you can, so that the spiritual world becomes normal for you, becomes normal. The Wairua world is normal. This is koromiko or hebe stricta, and it's really good for the puku, for the stomach. It's good for relieving bloating, gas, emptying the contents, helping everything to flow. It's also good for constipation, so it does both. It's amazing rongoa. And you just harvest young leaves. You only need 1 or 2. Chew it. Drink the juice, and you don't need to eat the leaves. You can if you want to. You just swallow the juice. In saying that, you can take about 3 or 4 leaves of that and make it into a tea. So you can steep the leaves. You can dry the leaves and steep the leaves in hot water and drink that, just to help with digestion. Kia ora everybody, welcome back. I hope you liked that video. Just in the contents, I'd love to hear your feedback on the walking and talking. Let me know what you think about that, and also some of the content if you're interested in the harvesting of plants and what I use for my own well-being. Just let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Ngā mihi.